Just Joe Football Show. It is time for of Before the Whistle Blows. My favourite time of the week. Absolutely love this show. I'm sorry for those that were waiting around at like dinner time today because for some reason I set it to go live then. I was actually in the dentist, and then someone messaged me going, "You do realise there's people waiting on Before the Whistle Blows?" I was like, "What?" So sorry for those that thought it was a little bit earlier. But we're back. We're back. It's 8 o'clock. Thank you all for being here. But before we do chat about the weekend's fixtures and before I welcome in the lads, please smash a like on the video as per, okay? Subscribe to the channel. Let's get as many in as we can. I haven't even had time to post this out on social media as well. So by you guys smashing that like, people will be aware that we're live, all that jazz. So just do me a solid. We're going to go through all the Premier League fixtures tonight as well. I want to do that moving forward. We will obviously pick a few of the key ones. We'll start from Friday's game and work our way through to Sunday. We will have a few quick fire ones with the lads as well for some of the boring games like your Burnley Brightons and that. No one really cares about that, do they? But yeah, the rest of the games we'll have a chat about. Locks, how you doing, mate? Loving that shirt. How's things?
Yeah, very good, mate. Yeah, bloody love this. We've had another one come out today as well, which is I think is a beauty. Others don't, but yeah, mate, all good. Just looking forward to the weekend. Football finally back. So to be fair, I don't think I'm quite over last season. So it's just come round so quick. But excited for it.
Yeah, it's non-stop, isn't it? I mean, if for those that took in the Olympics as well, I guess, you know, it has been non-stop. I took a break from it. I was like, yeah, I'm not bothering with the Olympics. I know a few people still watched it, to be fair, but it wasn't for me. So I've had a sort of mini break, as it were. Corey, how are you, mate? All right?
Yeah, good, mate. Yeah, can't complain other than West Ham not spending any money, but nothing changes. Now, I went up there on Saturday. It was good to actually get back into the ground and see what was going on. We look all right. I mean, I know you can't take too much from pre-season, but it's just a good vibe, mate. Let's be honest. And yeah, cracking on with the content. I'm sure you know it's going to be absolutely manic now from here on in.
Yeah. You don't stop, do you, mate? You don't stop. That's what I mean. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying it at the minute anyway. Things might change soon. Then I don't know. I might have to go back to Oscar with my tail between my legs, saying "Take me back." You know. How are you doing, Oscar? Anyway, mate. All right.
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I wish we got to see Wayman live at the dentist. I think you still should have gone live at 12. I think you still should have done it.
It wasn't me, it was my daughter.
Oh, okay. Anyway, Olympics. I learned new sports that I didn't even know were on the Olympics. You know, skateboarding was an Olympic sport.
Mate, that was
skateboarding.
Good watch, mate. Good watch.
It is a good watch, though. It'll sound like a howl kind of comment this, but it was more entertaining when they actually fell off, kind of thing. It made you feel like better about yourself when they actually like kind of just fell, kind of thing. But it's mad. It's mad though. Yeah, learned of new sports. It was all right, the Olympics, to be fair. But
did you watch the footy?
Oh, I wasn't watching that. The Olympics footy. Oh, it's practically the conference level football with no stadium.
It's one of Bielsa's major honours. That
but they took it serious. Then they took it serious. They had like Messi, Tevez, and that lot all went to that. It was at the Olympics. Like I didn't know who some of the players were. It was like, I mean, if you're getting selected for the Olympics and you're not getting selected for like the Euros or the Copa America, then you are a bad player. To quote Roy Keane, you are a bad footballer. But I just could not be bothered with that. I saw Brazil won it. I think they were the only team that took it seriously. But yeah, that was just not
Pedri
great.
Went, didn't he? Pedri went, and Marco said.
Well, I think Spain were that desperate. They took him and they didn't win it anyway.
He looks absolutely knackered. Please just let him have a rest.
You know what he's played? He's played in 1 year more games than what Neymar has at PSG.
Nuts, mate, isn't it?
Altogether.
What does that tell you? Yeah. In 4 years, he's played more games.
Wait,
this year.
Neymar's only played 70 games in 4 years.
It might just be league games, but he's only 70. Okay. But he passed him in the middle of a tournament and said, he's literally played more games than Neymar now. Madness.
Just while we're on that, let's have a little chat about that before we jump into the weekend's fixtures. Obviously, Messi, we spoke about just last week, I think it were. The deal was sewn up and he's now a PSG player. I'm gutted, like, from a footballing sense, because I think it's rubbish. Like, PSG, rubbish, really. Them poor teams in that league that are going to have to come up against the likes of Messi, Neymar, and Mbappe on a weekly basis. What is frustrating me a little bit, though, is these comparisons with, you know, the Suarez, you know, the trio then. Because I think it's a little bit unfair because we've not seen Messi, Neymar and Mbappe yet. So whether or not you think it's up to them levels, I guess you've got to let them three, you know, actually play some football together before you start making comparisons. Isn't it, Corey? Yeah?
Well, look, I mean, MSN's the best front line I've ever seen in my life. And they were all in their prime. They were all in their prime. Yeah. I mean, maybe you'd argue Neymar just kind of coming into it, but it is premature. I suppose it's the FIFA kid stuff, isn't it? You know, you go on FIFA 2021 or whatever, 22, and it's like you've got players there, all plus 90. You're going to blitz every single game. Look, I think what interests me more about that PSG side now is there's I think Poch is trying to establish a bit of a balance. I think some of the signings that will go under the radar, Ramos being one, Donnarumma, Wijnaldum, they'll get better balance, just kind of deeper in that midfield and around the defence. And then probably that front three will do all right. But let's be honest, if you're playing in that league, it's easy to look good without digging it out too much. And it's a bit of a shame, really, mate. I wanted to see Messi in the Premier League. I thought I thought City might miss a trick there, just to see how he would do in their side. But is what it is, isn't it? I suppose we'll just watch the Champions League and see how they get on.
Yeah, I watched Oscar. I watched a program last night on YouTube, the top 6 on Turkish LDN's YouTube channel.
Oh yeah.
There's the Man City fan there, and to be honest, it's the first time I've sat and watched it. I really enjoyed it. It's really funny. But the guy was saying that City didn't want, you know, Messi because he couldn't have played as, you know, the main man up top. That's why they're after Kane. And he said, I found it so funny. He said Messi would have got bullied, like bashed about in the Premier League and that. And I was a bit like, no, I'm not having that, mate. I'm not having that.
You're Oscar.
I know Oscar's a Messi stan, you see, so.
How many times we're still getting that? Can he do it at Stoke on a Tuesday night? That's still being used as an argument now. I mean, that's a shocking take. That I'm not going to lie, that's a shocking take.
He would murder Tarkowski and Ben Mee, wouldn't he? Like, can you imagine?
I think he would. I think he would. I mean, if he was going to like Burnley and they were launching the ball at him, I could get it. If he was playing for Burnley, I could get that argument. But he's playing for City. They keep the ball on the floor. He's played for Pep before. I don't think that's true. I think part of that reason he didn't go City and Pep didn't really seriously go in for him this time around was I think Pep's relations with the Barca supporters would have been affected a little bit. You know, if he's gone and took their best ever player in that lot, I think it maybe affects his whole relationship. I don't know. You know, it's reading between the lines, but the weird thing was that Messi deal was how quick it was all done. Like in terms of you're thinking this is the biggest transfer. I know it's not no money involved. I know no money between the clubs has changed hands, no negotiation. But for the biggest transfer of all time in terms of you saw Paris on the day he arrives kind of thing, it's comparable to like Maradona at Napoli in that kind of sense in terms of just everyone's just, you know, the status he's already got in Paris. Unbelievable how quickly it's gone through. You think he was in training today? I just think the big thing for me at PSG is the different kind of personalities you've got in there. I'm willing to bet a lot of money that at some point in the season, Ramos and Neymar will be at each other's throats in terms of personalities. Mbappe as well, obviously a bit controversial at the Euros and that lot in terms of a bit arrogant in terms of what he said about Giroud. I could just see there being a bit of a clashes at times. Paredes, Di Maria, you've got a lot of like hotheads in that PSG team, and you've got a lot of egos in that PSG team. And I think good luck captaining and managing that team during a few bad results, because I tell you what, I think that dressing room could turn. But end of the day, quality wise, they're going to win the league title probably about 20, 30 points. I think if they don't win it by 20 or 30 points, I think Poch will have failed a little bit, to be honest. And the big thing for Poch is winning that Champions League trophy. But fair play to him. You know, he asked Tottenham for a bit of money. They never gave it him. You know, thought Tottenham treated him terribly at the end in terms of what Daniel Levy did in terms of sacking him, despite him being loyal. You see where Tottenham are now. You see where Poch is. Things were... Sometimes the nice guys win. That's something you can say from that. The nice guys do sometimes win.
Yeah, and just to finish, Locks, does Messi going to PSG secure them the Champions League?
I mean, I don't think it's as simple as that, obviously. I mean, but as I think Corey said, like the balance in the team as well. Like Wijnaldum's a quality signing for them. You know, he's a big miss from Liverpool. I think they're still trying to get a replacement in for him, aren't they? It's like Saul and whoever they're looking at. So yeah, I think again, if they don't win it, there's going to be a bit of pressure maybe on Poch. But as Oscar said, I mean, Poch must be thinking. Imagine less than 2 years ago he was sacked from Spurs, and if someone said to him then you'll be managing Messi in 2 seasons' time, I'm sure he would have told you to do one. So it's quality. Look, it's quality for the league and for PSG, but. I agree with you, Joe, mate. I mean, you just want to see him in the Premier League. I think obviously that's the end now. I don't think we'll see him in the Premier League now. And it's a shame, but for his career, if you like, money-wise and the city of Paris and, what he wanted to do, I think it's the right decision for him, to be fair. So good luck to him. I hope, I hope the debate carries on for another couple of years, Ronaldo versus Messi. I've heard that Mbappe might be leaving PSG.
Yeah, and they're going to try and get Ronaldo.
Yeah, imagine that.
Imagine wow, that would be. It would.
It would be. That's what we want. That's what we want. But Neymar and Ronaldo in the same team. Imagine that.
Does anyone think they'll walk? Because I don't think they'll do it. I don't think they'll do it. I don't.
Sign Ronaldo?
No,
with Ronaldo win Champions League. Well, Poch is the perfect manager for me for that group of players. He'll keep the peace, kind of thing. He won't go in there, in terms of, I think a lot of those players need their ego massaging almost, people like Neymar, Mbappe. He won't manage them he will manage them like that, and I think he will be able to keep the peace between them and Ramos. I think if you put a Pep in that kind of situation, I don't think I think it caused too much friction between the players in terms of having to work harder and, different things like that. But you'll wait and see. You never know with something like that. It could completely flop, like the England golden generation, the Real Madrid Galacticos, or it could go the way of Barcelona with Messi, Suarez, Neymar. You just got to see how the results go.
Yeah, I guess. We'll leave that there anyway. We'll leave that there for now. I just thought we'd have a quick chat because we touched on last week's episode. Let's get straight into the fixtures then. First game is tomorrow evening, 8 o'clock, Brentford versus Arsenal. London derby. Great way to... Well, is it a great way? Yeah, I think it's a good way to kick off the season, to be honest. Arsenal, bit all over the shop. Brought in Ben White, a few others. And Brentford new boys. I'm gonna let Corey take this one first of all. I know where my head's at with regards to this fixture, but what are your thoughts ahead of this one, mate?
I'm interested to see Arsenal. I want to see what they look like. I've heard a lot about them in pre-season. I think it's a bit of a beginning. I'd say it's the beginning of the end for Arteta. Whether it actually is or not, I'm not quite sure. I think when you spend £50 million on Ben White and you spend 15 million on Lukongi, and he has spent money, to be fair, Arsenal have spent money. There is an expectation. I feel that Man United are probably in a similar boat with Ollie, where you spend that money, and if you don't go and improve, then there's going to be a problem around Christmas time. I think Brentford can do them. I just feel that there's something there in terms of the way that they play. You look at Ivan Toney, he'll be up. They're just a really astute side tactically. But when we played them, even you can see the patterns of play and the way that they're organised. So I think they do them over. I can't wait to see the meltdown. I've got to be honest. I think it's going to happen. I think it's like a 1-0 Brentford for me. Ivan Toney winner.
Yeah, I think it's going to be 2. I'm going 2-0 Brentford. I do think they'll beat them just because it's that, they're coming up, they're at home, new stadium, right, Oscar? So the fans won't have actually been in that brand new stadium yet, full house.
Don't think so.
Last game.
Maybe they did for the playoffs, but I don't think they had a full house in there. They wouldn't have had a full house. So it'd be interesting. I mean, I agree with Corey. I mean, I think Brentford can win the game. I don't think they will, to be honest. I think Brentford will take a little bit of time to settle into this league. They don't tend to start very well under Thomas Frank. They tend to finish quite strongly. But you can see it, can't you? Ben White making a mistake on that first game, Ivan Toney nipping in to score, and Arsenal Fan TV going into absolute meltdown by half time about Ben White and that lot. But I back Ben White at Arsenal, though. I think that's a really astute signing, alongside a physical centre-back in Gabriel who can win the headers and do the physical part of the game that maybe Ben's not quite 100% on yet. I don't think he's nasty enough yet for me, but he will get there. I think Arsenal keep a clean sheet here and nick it 1-0. But again, Arsenal, they're not what they should be in terms of being a bit more entertaining. I think in terms of Aubameyang, Lacazette, be interesting to see what they do this season. Obviously, Aubameyang massively underperformed last season. And could it be like he's past his peak now, or could he have a renaissance this season? But 1-0 Arsenal.
Oh no, what about you, Lux? What are you saying?
Yeah, I for one can't wait to see Arsenal fans crying their eyes out again. I'm looking forward to another 8th place finish for them this year, and I think it will start out tomorrow with Brentford. I think I can't remember where we ended up putting Brentford in the overall prediction a couple of weeks ago, but I actually had them in 11th. So I fancy them to have a really, really good season. First season in the Premier League. So yeah, I'm looking forward to watching them this year. But Ivan Toney, I mean, what a threat he is. He's a player that a load of Premier League, clubs fans wanted in their team this season. So I think, I'm gonna go with what Corey said. I think he'll get a goal tomorrow, and I'm gonna go 1-0. Yeah, 1-0 Brentford.
So there's three of us back in Brentford. I think the mad thing is like seeing everyone's comments as well, mentioning Arsenal Fan TV, and it's how straight away like there's a little part of you who goes, I hope they do lose, so that we can just nip
on. Have you not seen? I don't know if you've not seen it, but they did the overlap today. I think Sky Sports put it out, and
I've seen Ty.
Mate, it's box office. This is what we want. Go and lose, no problem.
Yeah. What did he say? What? I've not watched it all yet, but I've seen one of the clips. He's like, "Are you a director of football now? Are you a director of football now?"
He was defending the signing of. He was defending the signing of Willian and players like that, and he said, "We all make mistakes. We're all not perfect."
Dearie me.
I mean, I admire him. I admire how he loves Arsenal, but he's basically delusional at this stage.
I mean, I know some Arsenal fans who actually who call Mikel Eighth Teta now. Because he's finished 8th in both seasons. His nickname's 8th Teta among the Arteta out fans. So there you go.
Yeah, there you go. Ty's funny. Arsenal are funny. It'll be interesting to see how they get on because, there'll be a lot that'll maybe say Arteta for the sack, but I just think the powers that be, Edu, etc., they're too invested in him for them to push the button. I think it's a little bit like Manchester United and Solskjaer. For me, they're a little bit too invested in him to make that rash decision. I think they'll get more time to the dismay of their own fans. But yeah, I think the majority of us are saying Brentford. I don't think it'd be that much of a shock either win that game. Let's move on to Saturday then. 12:30, early morning kickoff. It is, of course, War of the Roses, Oscar. Manchester United versus Leeds at the Library, Old Trafford. 3,000 travelling Leeds fans there. It's going to be some atmosphere. Can't wait, mate. How are your nerves, mate? You know where mine are. I'm positive. I'm saying we're winning the game 2-1. I've been saying it is what it is, but where you at?
I'm not. I don't feel nervous because this is what we wanted. We got out the Championship. We had enough of Luton away and that lot on the first game of the season, or Bristol City and teams like that. We're playing a proper game of football here. In terms of where we want to be. And I don't feel nervous. I think if there is a good time to play Man United away, it's probably now. In terms of they've not got all the new signings settled in. In fact, Varane isn't even officially their player technically yet. So. It's interesting from that point of view. I do hope we put Dallas in midfield and put Firpo at left back. None of this Rodrigo in midfield stuff, but I don't think we will do that. But I still believe we can get a point from this game. I think we've improved a lot defensively since that 6-2 game. Yes, I know Llorente's not available, but Robin Cox and more than able deputy on that right side of the defence. And to be fair, if he goes Struiker over Cooper, which I don't think he will, Robin Koch might even captain us on Saturday because he captained us a lot in the pre-season. So it'll be interesting in that sense to see if he did get the captaincy.
Yeah, it's quite interesting to see a few Leeds fans. One, Lee in particular, says, if we can keep it below 3, I'll be happy. I don't know where that mentality is at, man. Don't worry about that. I think there's too much about that 6-2 from last season. Be a totally different game. There's no way that happens. I think, Oscar makes a good point. Manchester United are missing some key individuals, not just new signings, but there's also like Rashford's out. There's a number of players. I don't know if Luke Shaw's going to make it. I know on the wings, they've not got a lot of options. Martial through the middle. I'm not sure. I think we might sneak it. Corey, what are your thoughts?
I didn't know that Man United had that many injuries, so now I'm starting to change.
There's a few. Yeah,
I know they. Yeah. I knew they couldn't get. I didn't know about Cavani. I knew they couldn't get Varane, and I knew Sancho was kind of on the ropes a little bit. It's a mad one. I think Bielsa learnt his lesson. Let's be honest. I very rarely see Bielsa kind of make the same mistake twice. Or I feel like in the return fixtures last season, he kind of adapted a little bit. So there's not going to be a gung-ho approach. I think it'll be a relatively low-scoring game. I'm really intrigued with Leeds because you haven't made too many signings. Obviously, Firpo's the one where going forward, so it'll give you a lot of creativity down that left-hand side and you'll be able to stretch things a bit more. But I want to see if you've improved. Do you know what I mean? Because United's a massive test, obviously. Whether you can kind of deal with that threat and that Bruno will pop up. We know what KP did to him last time. We basically pocketed him for a whole 90 minutes. So I feel like it's going to be a low-scoring game. I don't think Bielsa will go all-out madness. I'm going to go 1-0 on this one.
Yeah, just looking there, disabled team. I've just had a quick look on the Man United website as well. Apparently, 9 players are a doubt. I know Jesse Lingard, Dean Henderson's got COVID. Alex Telles is out. I think Luke Shaw's push and go, so I don't know who goes in at left back. Marcus Rashford. I think it'll be like, for me, I think it might be like Greenwood, James, and maybe Martial. It depends what formation he goes with as well, because he's been doing this Matic and Van der Beek thing, I think, in pre-season. I don't know if that means the end of Fred or whatever, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. Locks, what are your thoughts, mate, for this one? Do you think we're going to get another pump in at Old Trafford?
No, I don't think so, mate. I mean, I'm looking forward this season actually to see. I mean, I'm to see both teams because I've seen people on Twitter, as you do, saying that Leeds are going to be the Sheffield United. They're gonna absolutely,
please.
yeah. I mean, I'm like, come on, what are you talking about?
No one's as bad as Sheffield United.
Are you backing us? Yeah. I'm backing you.
I'm backing you. As well as that, I'm looking forward to seeing Man United this season. But obviously, as you said, they've got so many out for this weekend. So we're not going to see the full strength United team that could challenge for the title this year, I think. So, tomorrow, Saturday, sorry, I fancy you boys. I'm going to go with a 1-0 Leeds win. 1-0.
Yeah, love that. Oscar, did I get your score prediction?
1-1. 1-1 going.
1-1. Okay, it was 2-2 yesterday, so you've changed that up. Corey, what's yours?
1-1, mate.
1-1, so all right, okay. Locks is a Leeds fan. Although
my strategy's just to copy Corey, basically.
Yeah.
Just copy Corey.
Don't copy me, mate. I'm terrible at score prediction.
Yeah. Yo, I smashed it in the Euros, by the way. Did you see that?
Yeah, second place, was it? Second place,
yeah, for score predictions. Yeah, I should have put some money on it, shouldn't I? But,
did you mention that you thought Italy would win it? Did you mention that?
I didn't say it, you know what I mean? But yeah, look, for me, Leeds United 2-1. What a game to come back to as well. I know we've been back a season, but it still feels new to me because we're going to be back in the grounds, so it's still like last season was great and what season it was, but you have that disconnect. But now we're actually back in the grounds and seeing fans in the stadium. It's a different kind of vibe. So this is just like a brand new season for me. I don't know if you feel the same, Oscar, but it just feels brand new again.
Feels like the first season for me. This feels like the first season in the PREM. Don't get me wrong. Last season I enjoyed. It was a bit different, but it wasn't a proper football season, was it? And we did great on the pitch, but this is the first proper season back, really.
Yeah. Yeah, I honestly, I think I'm pretty confident Leeds United win the game 2-1. Yeah, I am. I'm as well, guys. As well, a little bit of news for you. We best win as well because I'm actually traveling down to London on Saturday morning to be in the Don Robbie studio.
No.
Okay, all right. Bloody hell! Look at that! Look at that!
No, so yeah, that was secured today. Out of the blue. It was out of the blue, but I will be in the Don Robbie studio on Saturday doing the Leeds versus Manchester United game. So we best win.
Who you on with? Be someone from Man United. Oh, please be Goldbridge. It won't be Goldbridge, but please be Goldbridge.
No, it's not. Ike Sports. Eminic? No. No, I forget his name. My apologies. He's on the terrace a lot. I was looking him up earlier on, so I was thinking I best not be up against no big hitter. But yeah, look, it'll be a good day. That's the main thing, as long as we don't get battered. Right, let's have some quick fire then on this one. Burnley, Brighton, Locks. I'll come to you first.
2-1 Brighton.
2-1 Brighton. Oscar?
0-0. Enough said.
Yeah. Corey?
2-0 Brighton.
Yeah, I'm going to go for 0-0 as well. I think Brighton, they've still not got a striker, have they? They've still not brought in a number 9. So, yeah, they've got some...
Danny Welbeck will get the goals, though. Welbeck will get the goals.
He'll be the king of XG, and that's really all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. Champions League team for XG, aren't they? You know what I mean? Right, Chelsea, Crystal Palace. We'll have a little chat about this because we were speaking just 2 weeks ago about Chelsea and how, we thought as long as they brought in that number 9, was it Haaland, was it Lukaku, they were going to take that next step. Obviously, Lukaku has been confirmed this afternoon. Just how big is that, Corey? Do you see them being... For me, they're as much as I hate to say it, they're genuine challengers for the title now.
Yeah, mate, it's frightening. West Ham fans will know that guy scores against us every single time he plays us, so he's already got a couple in the bank. He's an unbelievable striker. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong. I think, look, I haven't really watched too much of Serie A, but even the things you see in the Euros, his overall play's improved, his touch has improved. Everyone sort of took the mick out of him for that. His hold-up plays, link-up, his finishing's always been there. He's a very complete forward, if I'm honest, and Chelsea create a lot of chances, and I think it's not just bringing him in, but it's freeing up players, even like Timo Werner. The pressure's off him. He can create, he can make space. Kai Havertz, again, he's not that number 9 either, so he can move into those positions. It's an unreal signing, mate. But I'm not having them saying it's great business. They sold him for 28 mil and they bought him back for 97, so they got to be real about that. But straight in the FPL team.
Yeah, straight in. No messing about.
No messing around. That is serious goals. I would put Kane, but I'm a bit sort of on the fence whether he actually starts this season or not.
See, I think I think Kane secures his move after this weekend's game. I think Tottenham have said he can go coming back. He's obviously not going to play this weekend. He's only just come back to training, yada, yada, yada. I think after this weekend on Sunday when them two play, the City will get him. Pep's come out and basically said as much, we still want him kind of thing. So I think that deal will get done. Do you see Chelsea rolling over Palace then, Corey?
I don't know about roll over. I haven't really seen enough. Lukaku's not fit enough, and I haven't really seen enough of Chelsea. I know that, to be fair, they did actually roll him over last time out, and they looked really impressive. I think it was the first half, so maybe. But I think Palace have improved naturally. I think they've got some great signings in there. I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea. I think they'll have too much, but I'm interested to see Palace, mate, if I'm honest. I really want to see what they look like, because this is a bit of a blank canvas for Vieira.
Yeah, no, true. And I've stuck my neck out and said he'll be the first manager sacked, so he best not start getting a tune out of Crystal Palace. Oscar, I don't know if you've seen it, guys, in the chat as well. I'm just going to mention this. I will touch on it in the morning on the Daily Leeds. Crystal Palace have actually now joined the race for Lewis O'Brien. So not only did they beat us to Conor Gallagher, it looks like now they're going to start flashing the cash. And it looks like Leeds, I don't know what's happening, ain't putting down this 10 million. Huddersfield have come out and said they've rejected 2 bids. I assume they're from Leeds United. But yeah, if they enter the race and they've got the cash, we might lose another player to them. And I'm getting a little bit like they're turning into a little bit of one of them annoying little teams, a bit like Brighton have been for us in the past. I don't know what your thoughts are, Oscar.
Yeah, look, I'll be honest, I like Lewis O'Brien as a player, but I'm not going to lose sleep over him or Conor Gallagher if we don't manage to sign him. We haven't got Gallagher, but if we don't manage to get O'Brien, I'm not going to lose sleep over it. I don't think it's a massive game changer for us. I just think it's a nice little option to have, so we're not having to put, square pegs in round holes in midfield. But it is what it is. I think Palace will give Chelsea a really good game on Saturday because looks like Lukaku will definitely not play, or at most will be on the bench in that lot. He certainly won't start the game. So you look at Zaha, Elise, in terms of who they brought in from Reading, they've got 2 decent outlets there who can get them out, from box to box pretty quickly. And yeah, I think you saw from Chelsea last night why they've signed Lukaku. You've seen from them last night. This could be the best signing of the summer in terms of how much it'll improve Chelsea, because Villarreal weren't great, and Chelsea just could not finish the game, and they got away with it on a penalty shootout. But I think Lukaku, yeah, you got to be looking at least 20 goals there for me this season off Lukaku. If he, assuming he doesn't have any injury problems and he goes straight into that team, I think Havertz, Mount, Werner, whoever it is behind him, will really benefit from that as well. So it's a very, very impressive signing that for Chelsea. But 2-1 Chelsea in this one, they'll just about have too much for Palace.
Yeah, and just before I come to you, Locks, for yours, mate, Matt Hayes has joined the chat and says, should I get the home or away Leeds jersey for the watch-along? If those that don't know, he came on, he gave it big licks and said, Harry Kane will be a Tottenham player next season, and if he isn't, I'll wear a Leeds shirt on my watch-along. He's all but confirming it there that he believes Harry Kane is on his way as well. So I'd like you to wait for the third jersey to come out, which is lilac. So I think we'll wait for that, and you can wear the lilac one, mate. It's a beauty. You can do that. Loxen, what's your thoughts of Chelsea Palace? Are you with the rest of us that Lukaku is the missing piece of the jigsaw?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think Werner got 6-7 goals last season. I mean, for your
Jorginho was their top scorer last season. Jorginho.
Exactly. And how much was Werner? Was it 50 million? Was it 50?
Yeah,
50 million.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like Oscar said, you would imagine a guaranteed 20 goals, with Lukaku in the team. So you add those 20 goals onto where they finished last season in fourth place. They really are going to be pushing for the title this year. I do think so. I think they'll give Man City a run in, but Palace, Zaha's looked really good in pre-season from what I've seen and from what I've heard. I think Eze's still out, right, with his injury.
Yeah, I was having a look when we were talking about injuries. I'll let you know, mate, and see how.
It's still like the Christmas, isn't it? I think he's out for. It's a big injury.
Was it ACL?
Yeah, big injury.
Yeah, which is a shame, innit? Because if you think like Eze, Gallagher, Elise, Zaha, there is the remnants of a good squad there for sure.
Oh, for sure, yeah, and obviously be interesting to see how they are under the new manager, but. Yeah, it's a hard one, really. You don't know which Chelsea's going to turn up. Obviously, if we're assuming Lukaku isn't going to be starting the game, but I still fancy him to win. I think Havertz is going to have a good year this year. Really, really good season. So, I'm going to go 2-0 Chelsea.
Yeah, I'm with you on that, Locks, as well. I think Chelsea will keep a hell of a lot of clean sheets this season, especially at Stamford Bridge. So I think. More of that again. I'm going to go 2-0 as well. Right, let's have a chat about this. I was going to say quick fire, but let's have a quick chat. Everton versus Southampton. Southampton just sold Vestergaard, sold Danny Ings. I think we put them in our bottom three as well. I originally went for Newcastle, but I think we all agreed in the end to stick them in there. Corey, what's going? Yeah, exactly. That was before Ings. That's what I'm saying, Locke. So Ings and now Vestergaard, which is that confirmed? Vestergaard done?
Yeah,
he's through the door.
It's weird. Though. It's been so quick. Like Hasenhüttl came out this morning, saying that he's talking with Leicester, and then in the afternoon, Rodgers says that he's been training with us. So he was training with Leicester today without the deal even going through. So that's all confirmed. £15 million.
Happy with that, mate? He's a great centre back, right?
Yeah, for sure, mate. I mean, we wouldn't have signed him if it wasn't for Fofana's injury, so that's why we've signed him. Weirdly, we've signed 2 of the back 4 that lost 9-0 to us, actually, which is a weird one. But yeah, I mean, 15 million for Vestergaard, Bertrand on a free. You can't complain with that. We needed it. We needed the cover now. So, but it's bad for Southampton. It's really not good. So. I don't know what they're going to do with 15 million. I don't know what they're going to do with it.
Yeah, it's a madness in it as well, Corey, because I've seen certain Manchester United fans were telling us that Hasenhüttl was the real, like, Hasenhüttl was the manager that the media try and portray Bielsa as, was the comment that I remember on Twitter by a Manchester United fan, and it's like, nah, crying gate, and he's game over, and now he's going to take Southampton.
To be fair,
I bet he's crying now, isn't he? I bet he is crying now.
Do you know what? I actually think he's hyped up, right? I don't think he's a bad manager, but when you're going into a season where you've sold your top goal scorer, you've sold your best centre back, and the only one kicking around still is Ward-Prowse, who obviously grew up in the academy. You're going to struggle. And you look at the players they've brought in. Armstrong is a gamble. He did get goals in the Championship. It might work. It might not. They signed someone from Chelsea, again, a striker. Livramento, 5 mil, is a youth academy product from Chelsea that no one's seen. So it's a gamble. I'm kind of looking at them thinking, you're definitely nailed on for relegation, and I'm going to take Stuart Armstrong and get him at West Ham next season. Because I can't see, for me, how they stay up. It's such a huge gamble. And I don't know, Southampton have kind of been, even in their recruitment, a little bit on a decline. You look at them, they've never really built, and you've never thought, hang on, they're going somewhere. They've always they've got assets. Villa have nicked them, Leicester have nicked them naturally, and they're really in the doghouse. So I think they're nailed on now, mate, if I'm honest. People wanted West Ham to go for Vestergaard. Obviously, we wanted a centre-back. That would have been a great player to acquire, but Leicester move differently to every Premier League club where they get someone in like that. They don't moan about it. You hear no controversy. It's just done. It's awful, man. I wish our club was like that.
It's good ownership, innit, man? I think everyone loves that Leicester owner as well.
I just wanted to say as well, because obviously I wasn't here last week. Like I went to the game against Villarreal, where obviously Fofana got his leg broken, but right behind me was the owner, Top, and also the director of football, should I say, John Rudkin. And you could see after the injury, I turned around and like the look on their faces, you know, like as soon as it happened, because I mean, you could tell as soon as the injury happened, it was a serious one. When you see the flop of the ankle and all of that, I don't want to get too gruesome, right? But they move mad, as Corey said. You know, the owner, John Rudkin, the director of football, tells the owner who he wants, who's best for the squad, and the owner does it. You know, he authorizes it, it all goes through. It's simple as that, and you know, we get it sorted so quickly. You know, and I see so many teams praising us and saying, you know, that is, you know, we wish our club was run like that. So really can't complain. You know, we needed a replacement for Fofana, and within a week, just over a week, it's done. So I think it's brilliant.
Leicester, man, it's amazing. It's an amazing story. You know, League One when we were down there. Now you've won Premier Leagues and FA Cups. You know what I mean? It's just madness. It shows it can be achieved. It can be achieved.
That's what I love about it, though. You see the players they sign. They don't. I know Tielemans they brought for 40. Was it 40 mil? It was a lot of money you brought in for,
40,
or whatever.
Yeah.
But you look at that now. He could go for maybe double that. So the way that even this summer they just go 20 mil, 25 mil, and you think, isn't it just common sense to go and bring in players like that are so good on the continent for that amount of money? And it's not like the Prem hasn't got money. It's not like West Ham couldn't go out and buy Daka for 25 mil. It's because Leicester were like, right, we'll have him. We'll give you the money. We won't muck around, and he's in. That's why everyone's envious, man.
Yeah, I mean, we've signed Bertrand, Vestergaard, Fofana, Timothy Castagna, all for like 30 in total cost, 30 million less than what we got for Chilwell and Maguire. So you know, we've put a whole back four together, and still in, you know, a profit from 2 players we've sold. So you know, that's how a club should be run, and luckily that's how it is run. So we're all delighted with that.
Look at that little grin on his face as he's saying. You can't blame him. You can't blame him. I get it though, because I feel that apart from Rodrigo, Leeds are following suit, man. Like, you've just to look at Rafinha, 17 million. When he moves on, that's going to be, because he will. I know people don't like to hear it, but he will. But it'll go for top brass. Like, you're talking top whack, you know. It's the same with Melier, 5 million. Robin Koch, 13. Llorente, I know he's at the end of his career, but he was cheap in comparison to what's being paid. So we're the same, man. It's all about that director of football for me, man. It has to be the right guy. It's amazing. But let's get some score predictions then. Did you give me one, Corey?
Nah, sorry, mate. What was it? Everton, wasn't it? Everton 1, Southampton 0.
Oscar?
2-0 Everton.
Yeah, and Locks?
1-0 Everton.
I'm going 1-0 as well. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with Everton this season. We'll have to wait and see for a few games.
People love it, mate. I've seen prediction table with Everton here. I'm thinking, what are you watching? Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Craziness. Right, let's talk about Leicester then. Leicester versus Wolves. I think for me, Wolves personally could be in trouble if the manager's not the right fit. I don't know much about him, but I don't know. They just feel like they're on a little bit of a decline, but more so Leicester. Locks, What's a good season this season for Leicester, just based on recent silverware wins? What's a good season for you?
We have to get top. We have to get top 4, because if we don't, Tielemans is gone. Tielemans and Maddison are definitely gone.
Are you surprised he's still here, Tielemans? Because I thought he'd gone. I thought he'd gone to Liverpool.
Yeah, I think I'm surprised. As the season went on, obviously it looked more likely he would stay. From what I've heard, it's a gentleman's agreement. If we don't get top 4, we let him leave. For
you know how they go.
Like Harry.
A gentleman's agreement at Leicester is much different to what it is with David.
Yeah, exactly. It is.
Yeah. I mean, the Maguire one was a gentleman's agreement as well. Actually, there was a deal. They told Maguire apparently a couple months before, if someone pays 80 million, you can go. So apparently that's what it is with Tielemans. If we don't get top 4, it's a lower price. I don't know what that price is, but it's a lower price than like the 70 million we would have wanted this season. Maddison, if he doesn't go, he will go. You're looking at other players in Diddy, you never know. He might go as well. He's been sought after. So I think we'll be in big trouble if we don't get top 4. And that's crazy that I'm saying that, because still top 4 is a big ask, So but I do think, over the years where we've sold one player every year, I think we're going to look at 2 or 3 players wanting to leave if we don't get top 4, because they're going to want to play Champions League football, for another team if we can't get it. So, yeah, that's the aim. Top 4. I would take top 4 over the FA Cup, the League Cup. Thing is, we've got 2 routes now. We're obviously qualifying for Champions League, so we can win the Europa League as well. That's the other option. So,
yeah, luxury.
I think that's the easier one, though. I think that's easier. I think it's easier to win the Europa League than finish above, because the top 4 looks strong this time around. Forget Arsenal, forget Tottenham. They are. It's a nonsense that they're even the top 6. They're not even the top 6. There isn't a top 6 anymore. The top 4 at the minute, that looks strong to me. I just think it's going to be easier. You look at Villarreal won it last time. We've seen it. Other English teams win it in the past. I think that's going to be a lot easier for you, to be honest, mate. If anything, if I was Rodgers, I would prioritise that over the league. If you're quite a few points adrift of the top 4, if you're like 4 or 5 points off the top 4, realistically, by the time the knockouts come into play for the Europa League, you're not going to bridge that. In all honesty.
I mean, I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I mean, last season, before the season started, I wasn't confident at all. Just because I know we brought in Castagna, and Fofana, and they were, Fofana especially was a bit, quite unproven at the top level. But this season, I'm really confident, like overly, like very, very confident that we are going to finish top 4. So I hope that doesn't go against me. I think that we've made some quality signings, like, Samari, who's not going to be a starter straight away, same as Daka, but the depth is getting there. That's what we struggled with, and now we've got it, especially with Vestergaard. So yeah, we'll see, but I am quite confident actually that we will finish in the top 4. Whether that's ahead of Liverpool, Man United, I don't know. I think it will be one of them too, though, that drop out.
Joe froze.
Joe is in absolute shock here.
He's giving
no way they're getting top 4.
He's giving us the evils here, isn't he?
He's not happy.
It looks like he's pretending.
I actually thought he was like kind of half moving a bit.
He's going to go, way, like that in a minute.
Boo.
But Vestergaard, though, just on to Vestergaard, obviously we had a little chat about him. That is like, that's a good deal, that, for me. In terms of if you lose Fofana, look, I don't think Vestergaard's anywhere near Fofana's level, but a decent, experienced Premier League option. Nice. I thought Bertrand had a really good debut, to be honest. I thought he handled Mahrez brilliantly. I was looking at it before the game started. I thought Mahrez is probably the only, and Gundogan and Diaz were probably the only 3 regular starters in terms of in that team. And to be fair, that side of the pitch, Bertrand had it on lockdown. I thought he did a fantastic job. And going forward, because I think Leicester, last couple of seasons, you always seem to have a right footer playing at left back. You're a bit like Leeds in that sense. Yeah. You haven't had a natural left back. And we've already seen the benefits of it with Firpo in pre-season. And I think, to be honest, you'll probably see it with Bertrand when you need him. I still think Castagna is probably better there, as is James Justin. I mean, what's happened with James Justin, to be fair? Is he back yet?
No, he's going to be out another ACL, an ACL.
That's a
from
shame.
March, so
it's a shame. You look at that though.
Quality.
That's
he
two
was our best
fantastic
player.
defenders.
Yeah, he was our best player that last season up until he got injured. He would have won Player of the Season. So, I mean, him, Fofana, Ricardo Pereira the year before. I mean, he looked at that time, one of, if not the best right back in the league at that time. Along with Trent. So obviously he got his ACL, and then he's not back to what he was before. And it's always difficult with the ACLs, isn't it? When coming back from so long out, it takes a lot of time to get back to it. But yeah, our full strength team with no injuries is well capable of top 4.
Yeah, of course it is.
Here he is. Like he never left.
Mate. He's on mute.
Can't hear you, mate. Can't hear you.
He's having a mirror.
He's having a Western Super, mate. He's having a Western Super.
Yeah, so I don't know if you got my message. I was like, Amy, is the Wi-Fi gone? And the dog's ripped it out of the wall again, man. He keeps biting and flinging it out of the wall. It was so funny because Locks went, we need to finish top. And I went, he's frozen the dick.
Is that how long you were out for?
And then I went, oh shit, it's me who's frozen. It all just went boom. Yeah, sorry guys. Sorry, where were you up to?
We're still on Leicester.
How well run a club Leicester are. How fantastic they can call on any option they want, and they're so well balanced.
They turned down Messi. They turned down Messi to sign Daka, is what I heard.
Yeah.
Good stuff. Right, let's get some score predictions on that one then. Corey, Leicester Wolves.
2-1 Leicester.
2-1 Oscar.
1-1. I think Wolves will give a decent account of themselves here.
Nice. I'll go 2-0 Leicester. Locks.
I'm going to go 3-0 Leicester. Convincing win. The stadium's going to be bouncing, full capacity. So, yeah, 3-0.
3-0. Right, we're going to do a quick one on this one, guys. Just a quick fire because I'm conscious of times and I know the lads have got things on this evening. Watford Villa. Corey.
2-0 Villa.
Nice. Oscar.
0-0. Watford will sit back, I think.
Locks.
4-1 Villa.
Wow. I'm going to go for 2-0 Villa. I'm excited to see Villa. We'll discuss the 5:30 kickoff, Norwich versus Liverpool. I think we all said we believe Norwich are going to go straight down. I just want to chat about Liverpool. I'm seeing a lot of top 4 prediction shows, all these different shows that you watch on YouTube. Everyone seems to be discrediting them because of the business they haven't done. But, the return of these players that they're going to have back, a fully fit Strom squad. Like, I just try and cast my mind back to last season prior to all these injuries, and everyone was saying that, no one can catch Liverpool. They're unreal. City will have a struggle. Yes, they've not done any business, but they're so much strong. Like, they're still the same team that everyone was waxing lyrical about last year. Then all of a sudden they're a bad team and now they're not getting top 4. Like, I think it's a madness. People have short memories. But I think they'll course through this fixture, by the way. They always do against Norwich, don't they? I'm going to go as high as 4. But I just wanted to get your opinion on Liverpool. Oscar, I'll come to you because I know you're in the area. What's the crack?
Yeah, I mean, I think Liverpool fans are mostly very confident, to be fair, going into this season. Don't think they necessarily think they're going to finish above City because if they've got Kane. But I think if Kane doesn't go to City, I think the fans hit Liverpool because you've got to remember Liverpool finished 3rd last season with Reece Williams and Nat Phillips as the centre-backs, and neither had played a game for Liverpool before the season started. That is sensational, really, off Klopp, the way he recovered that season. I think they won 8 of the last 10. And they did finish the season really well. I think another thing to consider is Mane. I think Jamie Carragher said it on the overlap, actually, in terms of saying that Mane, without the crowd, wasn't the same player, but with a crowd, it galvanised him. You've got to remember, 12 months ago, Mane was not only one of the best players in the Premier League and best wingers in the world, he was probably one of the best players in the world. In terms of Liverpool winning the title, Champions League, he was the pivotal player going forward to it, as was Salah. But yeah, that's I do see Liverpool being contenders, even if they don't get the midfielder. But I still think they'll just fall short. But this game, Norwich versus Liverpool, perfect game for them to start with for me. Norwich, very open. We know how they want to play. They'll try and go toe-to-toe with them. They'll try and play it out the back. Liverpool's press will get on top of them. 3-0 Liverpool.
I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a big one. When you were talking about Mane, then it reminds me of the guy. Is it James? Is it James from Redmond TV?
Oh, James. Best player. I don't do ifs, buts, and maybes. I do absolutes.
It's brilliant, though.
It is brilliant. It's such a great line, that.
Yeah, it is, man. It's brilliant. Sadio Mane. Yeah, it's brilliant. And it's best player in the world. And he goes, what are you laughing at? I love it, man. I love it. Corey, thoughts, Norwich, Liverpool?
Yeah, same as Oscar, really. I think 3-0 whitewash. I bet they're buzzing. I think they've got quite a favourable run of fixtures as well, Liverpool, for the first few.
Yeah.
So they'll get back in a rhythm of things. I think Robertson's got an injury, which isn't great for them. I guess they need their fullbacks to be creative. But I'm intrigued. I think people do underplay how good they are as a side. And when they've got everyone fully fit and firing, they are good. But I want to see that front three. Less so Salah, but definitely Mane and Firmino, and see what they do. Whether Jota might start the season. And I think Jota's a player that's been really sort of underplayed because he's been injured and he's never really got consistent. But when he was playing in that side, he was a difference maker. They went away to Atlanta and he was scoring goals for fun. So 3-0 Liverpool, and I think Liverpool should be. I don't think they'll compete for the title, but they'll be definitely top four for me.
Easy. I think the like I say, I know Locks is confident that Leicester will get in, and I think from watching a lot of stuff, I think Liverpool, if Leicester are to get in, people are saying that Liverpool will be the casualty, the one that drops out, but I just can't see it. Like, I know they've not done a lot of business, but I'd say Man United would drop out more than what Liverpool was, if anyone was to. But that's just my opinion. Maybe that's my agenda. But I just think it's madness how last season at the start, everyone's going, Liverpool. Oh, yeah, they had a nightmare season, like Oscar said. They still ended up the top four. You know, the return of Van Dijk's crazy. And now all of a sudden everyone's like, yeah, the rubbish not done any business and all good. But I don't know, it's short memories. But yeah, I'm going 4-0. Locks, what's your score prediction, Norwich, Liverpool?
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool is... They've got a title-winning team, haven't they? They have got that, despite what happened last year. So it could, you don't know which Liverpool are going to turn up this season. But if they can keep everyone fit, then I'm sure they'll be right up there. So Norwich is a great game. I mean, Suarez used to love scoring against Emden every single game, and I'm sure they'll get a couple of goals against them this weekend. So I'll go 2-0 Liverpool.
Another Salah hat-trick. I think Liverpool have had promotion team for the last 3 seasons on the bounce, I think. Obviously, it was last season, and then I don't know who it was the season before. Maybe it was Norwich. Was it Norwich? I
think it was.
Did Norwich beat them on the opening day? Or was that City? Did Norwich beat City? Daniel Farke's first game in the Premier League?
No, I think it was a couple of games in, wasn't it?
I remember, I know, yeah, they beat City at home, didn't they?
Yeah.
Todd Cantwell turned into Messi, didn't they, for like an hour? I remember that.
Right, cool. Let's move on to Sunday. We've got 2 more fixtures to do and about 8 minutes to do it, Inks. I know the lads need to shoot. Let's have a chat about Newcastle and West Ham. We were speaking earlier about well-run clubs. Are these 2 possibly the worst-run clubs in the Premier League?
You know they are. Don't play that game with me. You know. It's just who's worse. And it's almost like a competition. Now we're the worst. Now we're the worst. I think we are. I mean, how many clubs finished 2 points off Champions League football and failed to bring anyone in other than a loan signing who's a goalkeeper? We had 1 striker for the whole season. We've got 4 fit centre midfielders. We've got a lot of number 10s, to be fair, and a lot of centre backs. But one of them went out the door, and now we're trying to get them in. It's a shambles, mate. It's a shambles, and it's so frustrating. It's back and forth. It's just mind-numbing. But it is West Ham. It is under these owners. I mean, I can't really expect anything else. I think there will be movement last week at the window, last 2 weeks, and then we'll see what happens and where we lie. And then I can kind of really assess how far we go. But from the outset, I think we'll give it a good go. I think we, as a team, we're playing a little bit better in pre-season. There's an intensity there. The fitness levels are all there. Everything's good. But squad depth, how long can you last without injuries? And if Mickey Antonio gets injured on the first game of the season, we've got no striker. And then it all becomes, and we saw how difficult it was for West Ham to try and compensate. There's no Lingard compensating for the goals then. Benrahma's going to have to step up. It's tough, mate. It is tough. We should have enough to beat Newcastle, but after the last season, I'm not saying a word. I think we'll just about do it, but they're our bogey team now.
Yeah, it's mad, isn't it? Because I know Leeds. some sections of the Leeds fan base are a little bit like frustrated that we see the next move as being Europe. I think it's a little bit too soon, but you guys are actually in Europe and you've not bought anyone in other than a goalkeeper. I mean, surely the squad cannot contend. It means either the owners are saying, yeah, let's just write Europe off. It's a nice journey. We're not going to do anything and let's just what's the situation?
I don't know what the situation is because there are rumours of a takeover, and I don't know whether that's playing. A lot of West Ham's transfer business probably over the last 2 years has been massively suspect. You remember we spent 100 mil one summer, and we've recouped it ever since, and the squad's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. And there's probably part of them that thinks, why would we want to invest in this team when we might not be here any longer? And it's at the detriment of the team. I don't think they ever thought West Ham would get in Europe. And that's how testament to how good a manager David Moyes is and how good some of these signings have been. But it's not enough. And I don't think West Ham fans are sitting there saying, go and sign a player for 50 million. We might even be well within our rights as a side that finished 6th to say, why don't you go and do that? Yeah. But it's really just about, Patson Daka to Leicester. West Ham could have been all over that if they wanted. Abraham could have been all over that. These are just silly mistakes. These are silly mistakes that are so obvious to rectify. And we're lucky because Morris is hanging around for another season purely because we're in Europe. What would happen then? So I don't know, mate. I could rant and rave about it forever. I really don't know the situation. I try and just focus on the football now. There's no point in me moaning about it because unless it changes, then it'll be exactly the same.
Michael makes a good point here, but I was watching something yesterday and Grizz was saying that due to this winter break, that if your team in the AFCON gets to the final, they would only miss 2 games, I think. Yeah. And that's if they get to the final. So I'm not sure on is Ben Rama Algeria?
I guarantee Algeria won it last time, didn't they? I think.
Did they?
Or they were in the final at least. Yeah, Ben Rama, that's a great point from Michael. Ben Rama could be one of our most influential players this season. And if you lose him halfway through the season, then I don't know. I actually don't even know. He's right. 17 senior players. What other squad in the Premier League is like this? There isn't one. Bearing in mind,
especially one that's in Europe as well. It's mad, isn't it?
That's what I mean. Like, you look at Villa, and they're not in Europe, and I know they've sold Grealish, but they're building a squad that when they get into Europe, inevitably, whether it's Conference League or Europa League, they've got a squad going. They don't have to sit there and go, we've got to go and buy in 5-6 players. No, we've already done it, and we're miles behind. We're miles behind. But I trust Moyes. And I trust these players. We won't be in a horrible situation, but it's hard to aspire. A couple of decent away days in Europe. I think that's all I can kind of hope for. Really.
Yeah, definitely. Gives you score prediction for this one.
I've gone 1-0 West Ham.
1-0.
I'll take that.
Oscar?
2-2. 2-2. I think this will be an all right game, this. I think Willock's I can't believe Newcastle got Willock back. Yet, I think it sounds like it's going to happen though. I can't believe why are Arsenal letting him go for starters? They struggled to score goals, and how's no one between Arsenal and Newcastle on the table going in for him like a West Ham? I don't know. I just think he'd be perfect Lingard replacement for West Ham, but there you go. But yeah, I think Wilson will probably play. Newcastle, much better team with Wilson and St. Maximin, 2-2.
2-2. Locks?
1-0 West Ham.
1-0. I'm going to go for 1-0 West Ham as well. I've been copying you a lot tonight. Locks,
that's good you said that, Joe, because when you say something about West Ham, it comes true. So last season, I didn't want that. Last season you said they beat us, so I'm like, please.
Yeah, I remember actually, didn't I? Yeah, I did say it's one of them things. I get them right all the time.
No, you get that hunch, and I'm like, the minute you get that hunch, I'm like, put money on it, man. He's got it.
Right, let's talk about Spurs City. Just before we finish the Harry Kane derby, like I said, I expect Harry Kane to move after this weekend. I don't think they wanted him to be pulling on that blue shirt and turning up at Tottenham's brand new stadium and scoring a couple of goals. They'll have to wait to the Etihad for that. But how do we see this one going? What are we saying about Spurs, Oscar? They like Arsenal were rubbish last season. Like, I think Spurs are going to, like, them two are probably going to compete with each other for who's the worst side in North London. You know what I mean?
To be honest, I think Spurs have actually done all right business so far. If they keep Kane, I think obviously Martinez from Inter Milan's been linked. Good striker, to be fair. If they are replacing Kane, that's probably as good as you'll get.
I see Martinez is opening conversations with Inter Milan about a new deal So I don't know
whether it's a bargaining chip he's using,
true.
which you've seen players do. I mean, it'd be quite something for Inter to sell both their centre forwards, but it'll be interesting because Kane will go. I can't see a way back in that situation, and I don't think Daniel Levy can turn down 100 million plus for a player, even if he thinks he can get more for him. But Romero's a good signing at the back. I think that improves him at the back. Galini, I think, is better than Lloris for me. I think Son has got the quality to be the main man now. I think Nuno. It sounds like Tottenham fans seem to be warming to Nuno a little bit. I don't know if it's just because they've had some good results in pre-season. But I think Tottenham. They won't finish top 4, but I think they might be a bit better than last season. I think at least with Nuno, it'll be organised kind of thing. It'll be some level of order to it. There's a little bit of experience there with him. Maybe they might even go for Raul Jimenez. If Raul Jimenez comes back on fire for Wolves, that's probably your most like-for-like kind of replacement. But we don't know what Raul Jimenez will be like when he comes back from injury. But this game, though, will be too much for him. City, 2-0 for me. Be quite a routine-ish win for City. But as long as they've got some of the big hitters playing, they'll win this one.
Yeah, just an update on Harry Kane. Fabrizio Romano tweeted out half an hour ago to say that Manchester City are preparing a new bid for Harry Kane of around 150 million and will also include...
You can't turn that down. No. You can't turn that down. No. Harry Kane is not of 28-year-olds is not worth 150 mil for me. No matter how good he is, I think you can't turn that down.
Nah, definitely not. Locks, thoughts in this game? City Spurs, obviously, you've got first look at City beating them in the Charity Shield. I know it wasn't full strength, but, what are your thoughts ahead of this one?
Yeah, I mean, Man City obviously are just going to be right up there again this season. Probably going to win the league, or if not, second place. The Pep roulette, you never know who could play, but I think they've got enough about them to beat Tottenham. Kane isn't going to be playing. Obviously, he's only just come back training, so. Yeah, I think it's going to be a convincing win for Man City, to be fair. I'm going to probably go 2-0 Man City.
Oh, I thought the dog had brought it out of the wall then. I was like, please, no. Yes, no, sorry, bro. I was like, no, please, not at the end. Corey, score prediction?
2-0. I'm going to be boring and copy the other guys. I can't see Tottenham getting a... I can't see him getting a win, to be fair. I can't wait, mate. I can't wait till Harry Kane. Yeah. Come on. It's going to be beautiful to watch. Bring it on. But Oscar makes a good point about players like Romero. They're highly rated, and Brian Gill and things like that. I think, to be fair to Spurs, they brought a director of football in. I don't think they'll be as bad as what people think they'll be. And I think Nuno is probably a safe pair of hands. But I think they're going to have to get over the fact that they're not going to really be competing for Champions League for a while. 2-3 seasons, maybe. I mean, Harry Kane's a ridiculous loss. Anyone that loses him is seriously going to struggle for goals, and can't really see where that's coming from. Inter could hold quite hard on someone like Martinez. They might say we don't want to sell him, and then you're stuffed. So long may
because they know they need one as well, right? Once Kane's gone, they know they've got all this money, and it's
that's the thing with Spurs, because I thought they were going to play themselves into spending the money before they sold Kane, but now they're in a position. Chelsea have done them. They've snookered them really with a Lukaku thing, because I think they would have got Martinez done, and then they would have been sweet. But listen, mate, I've got to enjoy it tonight. Let's be honest, it's Tottenham.
Yeah. They might come for Bamford, man. They might come for Bamford.
They'll go for Calvert-Lewin. That's the rumour.
Do you think?
Yeah, I said that a while ago. I think probably they'll smack 50 mil, maybe 60 mil tops on him and bring him in. Big, physical, good in the air. Like Jimenez, really. That's what's probably Nuno will look at it like.
Fair. Someone said I'm in a rush tonight. I'm not. The boys have prior engagements. They've booked something just after this. We're already a little bit late, so my apologies to Oscar and Locks that have decided to do something else straight after. No, but that's it for the first weekend of the Premier League predictions. I hope you enjoyed this evening's episode of Before the Whistle Blows. Thank you, lads, as always, for joining me. It's a pleasure. Can't wait for tomorrow. I will be doing a watch along on the channel of Brentford Arsenal, so if you are about and you fancy watching, please do. And Day the Leeds in the morning and all that jazz. Corey, what are you doing this weekend on the West Ham way, mate? What can we look forward to?
I've got a show out tomorrow, so I'm doing a weekly show with a couple of West Ham fans. We'll just get into all the the nitty-gritty. I'm sure you know there's loads to talk about. I've got a preview out, already recorded it, Saturday morning, and then Newcastle. But the first time game for me in the Prem is against Leicester. So I cannot wait, Locks. I'll see you there, mate.
Be scrapping outside. Be scrapping outside then too.
Let's see how clever you are now with your great ownership. How's my London Stadium?
Go on.
And Locks, what about you? What have you got in store this weekend, mate?
Absolutely nothing, mate. I'll just going to be in the pub, I think. Down to the ground, not doing any content. First weekend back with the Premier League. So yeah, just going to enjoy it at the stadium. Go to the game and finish off at the pub. I think probably still there on Sunday. So yeah, looking forward to it.
He's always drinking, Locks, and he's even he's been knocking them back tonight as well. He loves it, man. He loves it. Oscar, what about you on all these? What are you laughing at? What are you laughing at?
It sounds like if Locks ends up in like Alcoholics Anonymous, that quote will be played by you just in your voice. Yeah. He loves it, man. He loves it. So we've
just
done
reach out, Locks. Reach out, bro. Speak to me.
me and CK, Chris Kelly have done the preview for the game. Just had the Oppo preview of Husband Talks United. Gonna do something that's a little bit different. A predicted 11, very quick predicted 11 prediction show. And yeah, there'll be a pre-match live review tomorrow. Tomorrow. I won't be on that, but the rest of the team will be. And then, yeah, watch along, usual match day stuff on Saturday. And then Saturday evening, yeah, we'll hopefully be responding to a Leeds United victory.
Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. Make sure you go over and check all the boys' channels out. I forget to do it every time, but I'm going to do it straight after this is put their links in the description. My apologies, right? I should do that. But yeah, listen, lads, I've kept you longer than I promised I would. Thank you for coming over as per. Everyone have an amazing weekend. Enjoy the football. I can't wait. And yeah, we will over and out and all that jazz. Enjoy your weekend. Peace out now. Leeds.